All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Shemi, Abishai, Shem, Dash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. It's Brother Barzal from Great Millstone, Atlanta. And I just want to do this lesson on basically this whole thing with the Boy Scouts. Of course, this thing has been coming out in the news with a high level of molestation in the Boy Scouts. And it's been coming from a space of a number of years, decades, where these boys that been attending these Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts too, whatever scouts that they're involved in, they're being molested and touched on by mainly these white people. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple of Jakes that's in the midst. Hey, and this all just shows you the spirit of America. This shows you that whenever you try to cleave on this so-called white man's so-called societies, whether it's the school system, whether it's the churches, whether it's the so-called secret societies, and whatever you try to do to attend and put yourself in basically in allegiance with this devil, this is the end result. All right, your child is going to get molested. More than likely, you're going to be bugged out. In the aftermath, you're going to be on drugs due to the fact that you're mentally damaged from actually trusting in this man and his system and things of that nature. And the list goes on and on about the travesties that you will actually go through when cleaving in this man's system. And that's why the Most High sets up the prophets, the men of the Lord, to prophesy about these things, preferably America, because this kingdom, this is the belly of the beast, man. All right, this is Rome all over again. When you go into ancient Rome, the ancient Romans, the Caesars, as well as the the other leaders of the specific provinces were known homosexuals and pedophiles. All right, they had a particular liking for little boys, and the same system echoes the exact same sentiment. And this is the article on CNN. It says the list of Boy Scout leaders accused of sexual abuse has nearly 3,000 more names than previously known. Right, so the list is going up and up, and that's still probably not even half of it. They're trying to track down all the numbers, and of course, a lot of these things went without individuals speaking out. It went under wraps, because more than likely the Boy Scout leaders, it was a whole conspiracy. It wasn't just one individual per Boy Scout group. The whole all the havens of individuals were actually partaking and participating in this pedophilia ring, man. This filthy debaucherous act. And even when you watch, which of course is not actually true, but when you watch movies pertaining to like Jason, where they speak about the origin of Jason, basically he fell in the water and died in the water because of neglect. And I think he was in some type of scout organization. He was basically amongst children. And when you see certain movies, you'll see the leaders that were actually not even chaperoning, and they were basically neglecting the children, and they were frolicking with each other. The men and women scout leaders, they were having sex, in the bunkers and the bins and things of that nature, while the children were basically being neglected and bullying each other. And it shows you how he got jacked up. Hey, and that shows you exactly what goes on in these different organizations. They don't give a hell about the children in these rings. They're not trying to build these children up for the well-being, trying to build their spirits up in society so that they could become leaders and rulers, so to speak. These are just low-level devils that are infatuated with children, and their infatuation is the reason why they sign up for these groups. And the infatuation, it starts to get, that's the gateway. It starts off as an infatuation, then they start to cleave onto one child, and then one child turns to 10, and then it starts to become a wildfire of filthiness. So I'm going to continue on. It says the Boy Scouts of America believe more than 7,800 of its former leaders were involved in sexually abusing children over the course of 72 years. According to nearly exposed court testimony, about 2,800 more leaders than previously known publicly. Right, so are they going to shut the Boy Scouts down in the United States of America? More than likely, hell no. Because first off, if the so-called white man is about ridding the world of evil, all white people have to commit suicide. All right, because it's not just the Boy Scouts. You have these top politicians. You have in the religious sect. You have these Catholic priests. All right, all these different groups and organizations are known to publicly, basically, they're publicly involved with pedophilia. All right, and some of them will get charged, and a lot of them will get acquitted. Then they'll have to relocate, resign from their office, and they'll find some other little pocket of or a little haven to do their wickedness unnoticed. You know, some of them may change their name, you know, switch their whole identity, and they'll keep doing the same thing. You know, so there is no, like the scripture says, there's no judgment, man, in Hosea the 4th chapter. All right. The Boy Scouts identified more than 12,000 alleged victims at that time period. 12,000. All right. From 1944 through 2016, according to the testimony which was publicized Tuesday by attorney Jeff Anderson, who specialized in representing sexual abuse victims. The numbers Anderson said come from what the BSA calls its volunteer screening database, a list of volunteers and others that the Boy Scouts removed and banned from its organization over accusations of policy violations, including allegations of sexual abuse. That 7,800 includes scout leaders and masters across the country accused of sexually assaulting children under their charge, Anderson said Tuesday at a news conference in New York. Right, so you have these so-called white, and you have a lot of black women that put their children in the Boy Scouts, trying, you know, in the spirit of actually having them learn how to tie knots and all this other BS that they'll never use in society, and then they'll take these children and spend a large amount of money for these children to be in the Boy Scouts, and they'll be getting molested, and just like you know, like you will see the whole situation with Jim Jones. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of children that actually told their mothers and fathers, their parents, that the scout leaders were touching on them. They were feeling like they were getting molested or violated, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the parents didn't believe them. You know, a lot of these things went under wraps. You know, and they just allowed the wickedness to go on and on. So shame on a lot of these parents too. You know. And like I said, this is the echo of ancient Rome. This shows you that this is Babylon. This shows you this is Sodom and Egypt all over again. Because these ancient kingdoms, they were known to involve themselves with children. Even Egypt. Um, Egypt was big on pedophilia. You know, the touching of little boys. You know, because when you have these societal leaders that nobody can tell them nothing, they have a level of diplomatic immunity. Their mind starts to venture into all manner of wickedness, you know, and that's why the kingdom of heaven has to be set up with men of under the banner of men of righteousness, because this whole kingdom is built and framed upon wickedness. All right, you know, this is Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right, so if you're in a wise government under wise judges and wise leaders, then everybody in the government will be properly ordered. But as the verses are going to go down, when you're dealing with a system of unwise judges, unwise and wicked leaders, like look at these different wings in the government. You know, first off, this country was built upon slavery. All right, it was built upon rape. All right, it was built upon pedophilia and all these different things, and that's the vibration that this kingdom pushes. So even if it's directly pushed on individuals or indirectly, the vibration is still circulating in the society. You know, and these people, you know, they're not victims of it. They actually you know, they're just basically going with the flow of things. You know, these Edomites, you know, they see that that's the way that everything, you know, basically how everything goes, so to speak, where you could do these different acts of wickedness and you could get acquitted. You know, the judge will basically you know, let you off scot free. You know, and a lot of these individuals in this ring, they may get sentenced and things of that nature. But for the most part, this, like I said, this is a worldwide thing. This is just one little organization amongst the bigger macro matter. All right, the whole of America is wicked. Even these judges and politicians. All right, who's judging the judges? Who these judges? A lot of these judges be involved in NAMBLA, which is the North American Man Boy Lovers Association. They be in the pedophilia and the sex trafficking ring. They finance these different rings all over the world, in Thailand and all over the Asian regions and things of that nature. And they don't get touched. So this place is jacked up, man. That's why you have to have a heavenly power that has to come and judge this world. So it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And the leader of the people, the face of the people as we know it, is Donald J. Trump. All right, and more than likely he's involved in filthy foulness, because these all these white people are Satanists, man. Their spirits cleave unto that which is adverse to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. If they were righteous beings, if they clave unto righteousness, then first off they would have the men of the Lord, the men that are rehearsing righteousness, they would publicly push us. All right, they would push us and say, and they would also ban all kind of wickedness, from narcotics selling to all these different laws that these so-called pork. They would actually change up the whole